Recently on the Talking Machine message board there was a question about the Edison Diamond Disc paper labels, when they started, what labels were used, and so on. First I want to refer you to this book, The Collector's Guide to Edison Records, because what I'm about to show you is primarily contained in this book. You'll find a lot more detail there. I highly recommend this book because it will give you details about pressing dates, pressing quality, what to look for, what to avoid, and so on. So, strongly recommend you pick that book up. But as far as the labels go, what you're looking at is the very first style of Edison Diamond Disc label. This label has a black background with white printing and a white border with black rings. This is the first style paper label. The black circle that you see towards the lower left is actually part of the paper sleeve. It's not part of the label itself. This style of label was only used from mid-1921 to late 1921, and it was only used on selected releases called flashes. Flashes are the records that Edison thought would be the biggest hits. So, in other words, at the same time that they were using this first paper label, they were also still using the embossed labels on other titles. As for why that happened, well, Mr. Edison's not around to ask anymore. There is a variation of this label which says Made in USA under recreation. That particular label is very scarce. In the last year of looking on eBay, I have seen exactly one copy of that label. This label, the black with white lettering, is pretty uncommon, but you can usually find one or two here and there without too much trouble. Again, it had a very short lifetime. Once that label was done, the first of the regular style Edison Diamond Disc labels came out. This label, the Edison Recreation label, was used, as you can see in my handwriting here, from December of 1921 to approximately September of 1922. This first style Edison Recreation label has no information directly above the matrix number, which compares to the next style label, where you can see now this label has a price. It says price $1 in the USA directly above the matrix number. This style label was used from October of 1922 to approximately February of 1923. And again, the only difference between the two recreation labels is one has a price and one does not. The one with the price comes later. Following this, we go to the Edison Record label. Edison Record, and again, the first Edison Record label has the price over the matrix number at the bottom of the label. I will just briefly take a sidetrack here into the red star, as there's been some confusion here and there as to what the red star means. The red star on the label means that Edison thought that this record was going to be a dog. He did not expect it to sell well. Dealers were not supposed to keep it in inventory. It was only supposed to be special ordered and could not be returned by the dealer once they bought it. So, in other words, they called it the general group as opposed to the normal stock. This red star appears on virtually any kind of the black and white checkerboard Edison labels. It was used for 2 or 3 years and shows up all the time. So even though these are supposedly uncommon records, quite a few of them wound up selling pretty well, so the whole red star idea was actually dropped. As far as this record style is concerned, the Edison Record with price was used from February 23 to October 23. Now, the dates that I'm giving you are, of course, approximate, and they're sort of a combination between manufacturing dates and release dates, so please just take this as being approximately correct and not literally correct. After Edison Record with price, we come to Edison Record without price. I know, it doesn't make sense, does it? But in any case, the Edison Record with price without price was used from approximately September of 1923 to June of 1926. And again, the only difference between this and the previous label is that this later label does not have a price over the matrix number at the bottom. That brings us to the very last style of diamond disc record. In this particular style also says Edison record. However, down above the matrix number it says Made in USA. And that's where things end. This label was used from approximately July of 1926 until the end of the diamond discs in October of 1929. So, in terms of broad variations on the diamond disc labels, there aren't a lot. There's the first label with the white print, then the Edison Recreations, then the Edison Records. And there are just minor variations of each one the entire time.